that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Well, to explain that, we have to go back. All the way back to the beginning.
In the beginning.
When I first bought this little bundle of chaos. A little over 3 months ago. Back in March, I bought this car completely sight unseen at an online We Buy Cars auction, thinking that it was a steal. I then went to collect the car at We Buy Cars Silver Lakes, where we took it on a little test drive, which, well, it didn't really matter because at this point I had already bought it. But it was there that I realized that the car had way more issues than it had stated on the Decra report. The worst of all being the suspension.
But yeah, there you can feel those bumps.
Yes, remember, it's not a racetrack, it's just a thing.
Before I could even show the car to you guys, I had to be able to actually drive it. And that meant that I had to have the suspension completely overhauled. And I also had to replace 2 tires that were 14 years old. I then gave the Mini a much needed oil change service, where we discovered half of Saldanha Bay's sand in the air filter housing. I then showed you some of its other issues, like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Das ist genug für heute.
And finally, we installed 10 TEMU mods. At this point, I really started to fall in love with this little Mini Cooper. It had charm, character, and, well, it made supercharger noises. It really was awesome. Awesome until that one morning. One morning where I tried to start it and, well, nothing happened. Okay. But the one morning I tried to start it and, well, nothing happened. It was dead. The battery was dead.
Let's roll, man. I'm done with the woods. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. No, it's not working. The battery's dead.
Wait. What do you mean it's dead?
What do I mean? I mean the battery's dead. The battery's dead.
What do you mean the battery's dead?
How can I explain this to you differently? The battery is dead. It ceased to live. It's deceased now. The car needs a battery to start, Saul.
How did this happen?
I wasn't exactly sure why the battery had died after only not using it for about 4 days. So I simply connected my daily driver car with jumper cables to the Mini, jump started it, and it fired right up.
Wunderbar.
But almost immediately I heard these strange noises coming from the headlights. And not only that, also I saw the exterior parking lights started flashing, and when I hopped inside, the interior lights did the same thing. The scariest of all, this actually continued to happen even if the keys were out of the ignition, which is probably what caused the battery to run dead in the first place. I'm completely terrified of electrical issues or wiring problems in cars. So I did what every single car guy with an electrical problem would do. I disconnected the battery, walked away, and hoped that the problem would solve itself. Nougat. But as you may have guessed, it didn't. And I left the car there, weeks turned into months. But finally I decided, go back to the car, I'm going to get the battery connected and I'm going to sort the problem out. So I got to the car and then I realized I had made a major mistake. I closed the boot. This might not seem like the worst thing to do, the car was still unlocked. The problem is that the battery in a Mini Cooper S is located in the boot. And you actually cannot open the boot without having power in the car. So you might think that, well, the Germans surely thought of this. They surely have some sort of a cable or a button that you can reach to access the contents in the boot. And they do, except not on early O2 models. And I can already see some of you R53 fanatics typing in the comments,
all R53s have a boot release cable under the rear passenger seats.
That is actually correct, but not correct in the case of the early O2 models. Trust me, I've done my research and it doesn't have one. Luckily, the rear seats of this car can fold completely flat, So I can simply jump into the back of the car, I can fold the seats down, and that will allow me to access the battery, which is located in the boot, and simply reconnect it. In that way, I can open the boot and jumpstart the car.
Wrong.
The problem with that is that the release for the rear seats is actually located behind the rear seats, accessible from the boot. So this was a bust as well. So then I thought long and hard about this problem, and I came up with 3 possible solutions. The first option, and by far the most preferred option, would be to simply get another car connected to the front of my Mini and power the car in that way. The Mini actually has a positive terminal located in the engine bay, even though the battery is in the boot. So I can get another car, connect jumper cables, and then I'm not trying to start the car, obviously. I'm just trying to power up the car, being able to access and open the boot. So the second option would be, now, like any hatchback, the Mini also has a backboard behind the rear seats, or actually on top of the rear seats. So what I can do is, worst case scenario, I can just simply fold that backboard. I won't be able to do this without damaging it. I have tried. I'm going to have to like crease it or damage it to the point where I actually would need to find like a new backboard from a scrapyard. So didn't really want to try this unless I had to. Option 3, this is a last resort. If I get gatvol and I just have to sort out this problem, I'm simply going to take a freaking angle grinder, grind a square hole in the boot, and in that way I can simply reconnect the battery terminals, I can freaking jumpstart the car, and I can drive off in the sunset, and then I'll always have access to connect and disconnect the battery from the boot. So yeah, let's hop into the car and proceed with testing option 1. The battery's in the boot, but we do have this positive battery terminal over here. Okay, so positive can connect to there, and I'm assuming negative I can just connect there. That should be fine.
Stop!
Okay, so I've got positive there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the car with no power running through it here first. Okay, and then I should be able to connect this positive side here. Okay, so hopefully I've got power now here. Let's see. Oh shit, I forgot about how potent that is. And that is just essentially what I wanted to do, and that was freaking brilliant. And it sounded like nothing actually blew up. So that's great. That's a great start. I'm gonna leave these out because I'm probably gonna have to jump that battery. Like I'm saying, my suspicion is that it is low, and it hasn't been started in about 2.5 months. Let's go to the back and connect the battery. So that solved my first problem, the problem of actually accessing the boot, because as you can see here, the battery terminals have been disconnected. But okay. Okay, so that, let's see if we can first of all just connect the battery terminals and see if the car can start, which it's not gonna. So I'm gonna put the positive back on. It's got some power. That's the CD shuttle that's making noise. But let's see if we can start the car. Okay, we've got some lights there at my feet. It's got some power.
He's alive, Obi-Wan.
Okay, that's great. So it actually started by itself after being disconnected for 2.5 months. I was absolutely thrilled to be back in my Mini. After being locked out for so long, just hearing it fire up after 2.5 months was magic. But before I got too excited, we hadn't actually solved the electrical issue. And sure enough, the Gremlins came crawling back shortly after. At this point, I figured it had to be one of 3 potential issues. Firstly, maybe the battery itself was just bad. Secondly, maybe there was some corrosion in the fuse box connections. I've seen this happen with some UK R53s, especially when moisture sneaks in through the passenger footwell. And finally, and hopefully not, it could be a dodgy alternator. So I started with investigating the most obvious suspect, the battery. A quick ChatGPT, I know, search told me that a healthy battery should read around 12.7 volts when the car is off. Anything around 12.2 volts is roughly 50% charge. So after running the car for about 5 minutes, I switched it off, grabbed my multimeter and got a reading of 12.08 volts. Not great. The battery also looked a bit ancient and I couldn't really spot a date on it anywhere. Definitely concerning. So that's when I decided to hop in the Mini and head to FirstBattery to have it properly tested.
What is up? It's a new day, and the reason for that is because yesterday was a public holiday, so I tried to do my battery replacement yesterday. I went to like 3 shops at around 1 PM, they were all closed. So now I'm here at FirstBattery.
Is it still sharp? 2024.
What? Where did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So it's I means it's the month. So it's A,
Okay.
B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, 9th month.
So they actually replaced it
September.
just before I got it.
Your battery is sharp, man. If I would say there's a problem with the battery, I would be lying to you. You can see me. This is a very nice car. Why was it parked for so long?
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. This here must be between. That's the volts, right?
Yeah. It should not actually leave the green surface. No?
Oh, right.
So we're gonna crank it to
Okay.
just before 60. So, but now that it was standing for quite
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, it's too new, the battery, right?
Yeah, man. Still sharp. Still sharp.
I'm really not keen to start troubleshooting electrical problems on this car. So on the way back from FirstBattery, I thought to myself, when was the last time the car actually ran properly without these issues? And I thought it was right about before I started making the TEMU video. And I thought, what if there's anything that I installed on the car that could affect or cause a short? I then went back home and I literally just disconnected the antenna, as this was kind of the only thing that I could think interfering with the electronics of this car. So I disconnected it, and to my surprise, I saw this white chalky residue at the bottom of the screw. Then I realized that it might actually be corrosion. So I researched, and this could be the case if it were 2 dissimilar metals that interacted with one another. I've been driving the car for almost 2 weeks now, and I've had no issues. I've even been to Santon and back twice, and it's really holding up well, so that's great news. So now that the Mini is finally up and running again, I can finally start making some questionable decisions again. I've still got so many projects and things that I want to do with this Mini, so I'm so happy to be back.
We are back, baby. We are f***ing back. We're back. Yeah. Classic. We are back. We are back.
But for now, that's it for this one. Let me know in the comments if you've ever been haunted by some cheap mods on your cars, what price you paid for that. I'd be super interested in hearing. So yeah, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!